What's up everyone, Wesley Malott here with a new movie review, and today we are reviewing 1917. Let's take a look. 1917 is directed by Sam Mendes and is set in World War I, and it follows the story of two British soldiers who are sent on a mission by foot to tell a commanding officer to stand down their attack because they are being sent into an ambush. It's based on a story told to Mendes by his grandfather, Alfred Mendes. This movie is a remarkable piece of filmmaking. It is just a tremendous achievement. If you're not familiar with the movie, it is presented as if it is all one take. It's not. It's a series of long takes, probably 8 minutes apiece, and they're stitched together seamlessly so it looks like the movie is all one continuous take. It's really amazing. At the very beginning of the movie, I was actually looking to see where these edits were hidden, and I was able to pick out a couple of them. However, as the story went on and the suspense and the action picked up, I found myself completely drawn into this movie, and by presenting it all in one take as is, it really helps you feel as if you are with the soldiers. Now, when I first heard about this movie, I really thought it was just like one of those Oscar bait gimmicks, because the Academy really loves long takes, and for good reason. They are incredibly hard to pull off, and it takes an extremely talented group of cast and crew members to coordinate and choreograph these numbers. But this movie, I really don't think it would have been as impactful had it been a traditional film broken up by edits and cutting to different shots. Sam Mendes does an incredible job with directing and choreographing everything. It is super suspenseful, intense. The action scenes are incredible. Roger Deakins, the great Roger Deakins, one of my favorite cinematographers, shot and lit this movie, and it's beautiful to look at. For the most part, they used all natural lighting, and if you've seen any of the behind the scenes featurettes, it was a lot of them sitting around waiting for clouds for an overcast, evenly lit scene. However, this movie really shines whenever it goes to nighttime. There is an amazing set piece in a village that's being bombed, and it's very, very dark to the point that you can't see anything other than the bombs and flares going off over this city that are lighting the town. And it's incredible to look at. And they achieved this by putting lights on wires that were just going over the set. It's beautiful, and it's like some of Roger Deakins' best work. The performances in this movie, especially of the two leads, George MacKay and Dean Charles Chapman, they're great. They deliver outstanding performances. Colin, Firth, Benedict, Cumberbatch, and Mark Strong also appear in this movie, but they are in it very briefly. They're basically cameos. So, I mean, they're solid performances, but they're very minimal since we're following the journey of the two main characters trying to deliver this message. George MacKay in particular, I really hope he gets more roles after this. I've never heard of him before, but he is very good. He does a tremendous job with this role. He's very reserved and doesn't really want to talk about any personal things because of it's war. Some people aren't very personable, but one of the, and I'll get into this really quickly, one of the criticisms I've heard of this movie is that it lacks character development, and I disagree with that argument. Just because we are not telling the audience what a character is does not mean we're not getting character development, if that makes sense. I may have said too many nots. You get the point. We are given information that's sprinkled throughout the story what this character is and who he becomes by the end of this story. Audiences don't need to be force-fed everything through dialogue, and I think this movie does a really good job at just giving you tidbits of information throughout the script, throughout the story, to give you a complete character and an arc. There's one scene in particular where he runs into a French lady who has taken a child in off the streets because she couldn't find her parents. And the way that he interacts with this child tells you that he has a child of his own back home waiting for him. So I completely disregard those criticisms about a lack of character development. There is character development here. It's just not thrown in our faces through dialogue. It's very subtle. It's not heavy-handed. As with most war movies, the sound is incredible. I really don't have any negatives to say about this movie. It's super suspenseful. The action scenes are incredibly well crafted. This movie is insanely well directed and choreographed. The performances are great. I highly recommend going to see this movie in the movie theaters and getting the full experience. I do real quick want to go back to my Best Picture predictions that I made last week. I think this movie is a lock for Sam Mendes to win Best Director, and I do think it's going to win Best Picture. I really do after seeing it. I don't think I would give it Best Picture if I were voting. I still think that belongs to Parasite, but this is easily top 3 of the year and probably my runner-up for Best Picture of the year to Parasite. It's really an incredible piece of filmmaking. I highly recommend you go see it. I give this movie an A+, I think. I really enjoyed myself, and go see it. Just experience it for yourself. That's gonna do it for this week's episode of Movie Reviews. I haven't really been doing a lot of these over the course of the past 6 months or so. It's just kind of exhausting to try to keep up with the filmmaking content and movie reviews on top of that. But if you guys do enjoy these videos, these reviews, please let me know in the comments below. And if you guys want to see more of them, I'll try to make more of them. That's how it goes here. I'll make what you guys want me to make. If you enjoyed the review, like it, drop a comment below, and we'll see you next week with some filmmaking stuff and maybe a movie review if you guys want to see more.